When I went and got my public education, it was sort of mass production style. There was one textbook taught one way by one teacher in one classroom. And for most of the 20th century, America deemed that sufficient. But mothers did not give birth to baby Model Ts. There's no assembly line in this business. You treat every child as an individual work of art. That's a much more complicated way of learning. It puts a lot more burden on teachers. It's a lot more challenging. But here's the real point. It changes the system. The single toughest challenge is to get everybody to understand that we're moving from this mass production system to this professional, and I call it artisanal, as in you're sort of creating individual works of art, except they happen to be 17-year-old high school graduates, and that is systemic change. In the old days, where all the decision-making was concentrated in the central office, and what the superintendent wanted done was to have teachers simply follow the rules and use the principals to enforce that the teachers did follow those rules, that model can't work now. So in 2007, 2008, I looked at what was being talked about in terms of likely school reform measures. And I said, you know, this just isn't going to work because these measures don't get at the heart of what is making good schools good. I went out across the country and went to 40 high-performing and transforming school districts. The two key fundamental attitudes in these successful districts were, one, student achievement is everything. It is the lodestar by which all other decisions are guided. And two, there are no excuses around here. It doesn't matter how many of our students are low income or minority or don't speak English well, we can educate them. They set goals. They develop benchmarks to tell themselves whether they were in fact were achieving those goals. If they weren't achieving those goals, they would own up to the fact that they'd failed and they'd try something else. It all has to relate back to, does it change the transaction between the student and the teacher? Because that's what drives all of this reform. The fundamental underlying vision of the book is that it takes that grand community coalition to drive change. You need teachers, you need administrators, you need a variety of people. To demonize any of them, to take sides in this debate in that sense, is not helpful. What is helpful is I want to get to a certain result, and I want all of you, whether you're a teacher, you're a union leader, you're a superintendent, you're a state legislator, I want you all on the side of doing right by kids. So here's the book that in very simple terms lays out where we're going and lays out how you as a parent or as a voter can help us get there.